Hello and welcome back to Utterly Unfiltered with Tash and
Cara.
Happy Monday. Today's episode is all about social media confidence, social media comparison and how it's affecting your confidence and how to have a healthy relationship with social media and our relationships with social media and just all of that coming into the holiday season when you're going to see everybody posting about their fun holiday parties and their family events and their friends and all that kind of stuff, and you know how to manage that over that period of time.
It's a tricky one.
It definitely is.
It's a toxic relationship, I would say, social media with me at the moment.
A toxic but sometimes necessary one, unfortunately.
That's the problem. It's just everywhere.
It's everywhere and you can't escape it. And so the best thing you can do is learn to manage it rather than have a love-hate relationship with it. You know?
Before we go into that,
yes.
How have you been? It's been a long time. It's been 6 weeks since I've seen you.
4 weeks.
Too long. 6 weeks too long.
6 weeks too long.
Aww.
It's been good. Yeah. We've been looking after my parents' dog for
Lona.
the last 5 weeks. Lona.
She's gorgeous.
She's 14 and a half years old. She's a Cocker Spaniel. And she is so flipping cute. And I was so nervous to look after her because she's so old and you know, like she's used to her own house, and I feel like it's like taking like an elderly person out of their home, you know. It's like they don't know where they are and they're confused, and I didn't want to do that to the poor dog, but she literally was fine. She was thriving. And we loved having her.
Yeah.
And I'm so sad now. We've given her back to mum and dad, obviously, because you know
It's
it's their dog.
Yeah. Although technically she was your dog.
Yeah,
except
we
you
grew
didn't
up
have to
with
do
her.
anything for her, just cuddles.
No,
that's
I
the
grew
way.
up with her. We got her when I was 13.
Wow,
And
long time.
Yeah,
I remember that. I feel like it was
it was our friend's birthday party.
and then
Yeah.
your mum showed up with Lona,
And your mum had gone with her.
yes, to
and
pick
they
her
just
up.
turned up with this
So
little
cute.
dog.
We're like, what?
So cute.
She's
So-
adorable. I have
yeah.
doggy sat for her one time, and I was saying to Tash that I was just like, I stayed in your parents' house, which is beautiful, and I broke things, of course, and I missed things and whatever, but I was like, just don't break the dog, please don't break the dog, because the dog is so old. Lona is so old and so cute and so fragile. I did make her like struggle for breath a couple times. Don't lift her up. There's a no.
That was such an issue though, because our back garden in Oxford, it's up a step,
Oh.
or up 3 steps. So we literally had to lift her every time, to which we needed to take her out to pee.
It's a cradle type situation though, isn't it? It's like I went for the full like underbelly, but then her ribs just felt like they were disintegrating.
Yeah, you
It's a
can't
full like okay, there is a technique.
It's an airlift.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
think of like
yes.
an airlift. That's how I do it.
It'd be great if she could just levitate. Where is dark magic when you need it?
It's so funny.
Oh, so how else? Yeah.
We went to Alicante for a weekend.
You did for
My
your
birthday.
birthday,
I'm
yeah.
officially 28 years old, guys.
Wow.
And I'm not happy about
You
it.
is old. I'm
really
only
old
27,
now.
ripe old age.
Honestly,
Ripe
I'm
young
now
age.
in my late 20s, and you can't lie about that. You know,
I'm there already
you
too.
can say you're in your mid 20s when you're 27.
No, I don't think you can.
Yes,
That's
you
not what
can.
the middle is.
The middle is because it's like
Isn't the middle 25?
Well, yes, but it's like I would say it's like 23 to 27 is your mid 20s.
Okay.
20 to 22, 23 is
Late.
your early 20s.
Oh, yeah.
And then 28 to 30, well, 30 is 30, so 28, 29 is your late 20s. So,
Shit.
yeah, officially
Wow.
in my late 20s.
Wow.
So I'm old now, guys. I'm about to embark on my Saturn return as well. I'm very excited about that.
Ooh, what does that mean for you specifically?
Well, good question. Mine is my Saturn's in Virgo, I think. I can't actually remember what it means for me specifically, but I actually have it here on my laptop. I'm just getting it up. Oh, my Saturn's in Aries.
That's me.
Is-
I'm
You're
Aries.
an Aries.
Yeah, so you're with me. Are you with me at the moment? Or where am I?
I don't know. It just means that, I don't know. I don't know what it means exactly, but it begins in May.
Okay.
So I have until May to still be me, and then I'm gonna
And then you
go a bit
transform.
crazy.
Oh, do you go cray? Like in a good
Apparently-
way?
Apparently.
Or do you just
it's
go
like-
fly off the handle? That
it's like
shit.
a 2-year process where basically you just question everything and everything. Like it's like when people say everyone freaks out at 30. It's not actually because it's 30, it's because your Saturn return is between the ages of 27 and 31 roughly. Mine's going to be 28 to 30, I think.
I genuinely think mine started at 25.
Well, this is the thing
I'm
that
still
confuses
questioning
me
everything all the
is-
time,
well,
forever.
This is what I think too. But apparently it's like it marks the end of that whole period. So at the end of it,
Thank God.
you'll like have more like
Jesus.
confidence, you'll know who you are, you'll have more direction. That's the idea.
So we question everything for a period of time, and then do we get the answers? I'm
Yes.
hoping for some answers already,
Yeah.
universe.
You're supposed to feel better after your Saturn return than you
Okay,
did before. So
great.
I'm actually quite looking forward to that. I'd like some direction.
Is it not just something people at 30 say to make you feel better about being 30?
Probably.
Just because I'm in a negative mind frame today.
Shut
Yesterday
me
I
down.
was all whimsical and like life has meaning and I'm Aries and I'm a fire sign. Rawr. Now I'm just like, oh my God, help, send help, SOS. No, we will survive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how have you been?
How have I been?
Oh,
Good,
as
mostly.
You just heard.
Largely good.
Largely good.
Largely good. Still trying to strike that music OT work balance. But I went on a cruise recently with my
yes.
aunties and my mum and my cousin, which was amazing. So much fun.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. I think I had never been on one, so I had no idea. I had no like expectation or comparison of what it could be like. So I just enjoyed every moment, and I think it's pretty special to have time with those people, with that group of people, like girls trip vibe with family, because we haven't done it before, and I don't know when we'll do it again. And the novelty of being in a different island every day was just wicked.
Yeah.
And I missed traveling. I didn't realize because I hadn't been away for a long time outside of the UK. And I really missed it. So it was a little bit, our mums, so myself and my cousin are very similar in our drinking patterns and just in general in our personalities. Makes sense, I guess, because our mums are so similar. So we're brought up we're not that close in age, but we were brought up very similarly. And, our mums were terrified of what we'd be like because it was an all-inclusive drinks package. And yes, we did start drinking at like 9 a.m. every morning. Cocktails, you know,
Mimosas
strong
with
cocktails, not even like pina coladas, margaritas. But we had to twice put our mums to bed. Twice.
Oh my goodness.
So they had a little bit of fun as well, which I was so happy about. Pizza at like 2 a.m. from the buffet.
Oh my goodness.
What
was the highlight? If you could tell a funny story or a highlight of the trip, what would it be?
Oh, there was so many funny stories. I mean, my highlight day was actually Turkey, which I wasn't expecting because I had no
I've never been to Turkey.
I had no desire to go beforehand. Like there were places like Santorini that I was so excited for. And Naples, but I had never really given much thought to Turkey. And also, like, on paper would be my worst nightmare because we went to the second biggest market in Turkey, which is just all the sort of fake handbags and all of the people coming at you and trying to get you to buy stuff and lots of funny, like, smells and sights and things. But I actually loved it for that reason. Like, the sensory experience was amazing.
That's cool.
And it was that one day we hadn't got like a tour or anything, so we could just go on our own agenda, which was very cool. And that's exactly what we did. And that night was also a lot of fun because then we were out the whole day, and then we figured when we get back to the ship we have to make up for lost time of the drinks package because we were determined that they were going to lose money on the alcohol with us, which they probably did. And so we just went nuts we went bonkers when we got back. And that's the night I think we had to put our mums to bed. They were just having whiskeys, but these people were pouring, like the bartenders were pouring, they weren't like
Little
shots. They weren't like big. I guess because they just don't care. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think we did a little dance class, just chaotic,
That's
but
so
in the best
funny.
way.
I love that.
Yeah, and
Oh
it just
my
captured the
God.
whole trip really that night. So I have vivid images of our mums stumbling to bed along the corridors, long corridors, right? And us just trailing behind them and like taking videos and just being a little bit like naughty. It was good. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I love that. That
For
sounds
sure.
so good.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a girls' trip, is there?
Oh my gosh, and like, yeah, with family, I didn't even care what I packed. I was like, I'm just going to rock up. I've got my mum there. We used her face wash. My cousin used her toothpaste. Short of borrowing clothes, and which I did do as well. I borrowed shoes and tights, like leggings. No, like tights. But short of that, I pretty much just used everything of everyone else. I was absolutely sponged. Yeah, I loved it. Awesome.
I love that.
So
That
good.
sounds so
Yeah.
good. So good. Yes. How have you been otherwise?
Well, shall we dive into
Then.
social media?
Yes. Let's do
So
it.
yeah, I have my EP that came out that I'm really pushing and promoting. And social media, unfortunately, is a bit of a necessary evil with it. I can't really say I get a lot of like joy from posting. I get massive posting anxiety all the time, and then I'm constantly like checking in on it. It's not even so much like I wouldn't even say it's like how many likes am I getting or how many shares am I getting. It's just that it's out there. And for me, a lot of the thing is like, I know I'm posting very often, and that's to attract new followers, but I'm also aware that that's annoying current followers, because I always lose. Inevitably, I'll always lose a couple of followers when I post something, and that feels like a rejection at the highest form. Anyways, but then yeah, it's a struggle at the moment. It's been an interesting couple of days, because of course you get the haters, and it literally takes like, I can have 50 positive comments. Not that I don't, but I could have like 3 positive comments. I could have 1 negative comment, of which I have had a couple, and that literally just like pulls me apart. So I don't know, we're in that interesting phase of, I need social media to promote something of mine, because that's just the way of the world now. But the effect that it has on me, it's almost like, is it actually worth it? I don't know.
Why do you think that you have the anxiety when it comes to posting?
I think it's because you're forcing yourself on people, like you're putting yourself out there. It's just the vulnerability associated with it, even if it's not something particularly deep. Occasionally I'll post sort of kind of deep personal posts online, and that's really just to try and break down the barriers of everything being perfect all the time. But mostly it's not. So it shouldn't be. It's like, but it's something so important to me. It's like a live performance that'll really make me a little bit more, or a song, or the process of writing a song, or something that kind of gives a snapshot into my baby, which is music. That I then am just really conscious. Well, you serve it up to people on a plate for them to judge and criticize, and then you're like desperate for them to. It's tragic, actually.
Do you think it's because the music is so personal to you that you feel attachment to it?
Yeah, I think when you get, absolutely, and I think it's giving people an insight into your mind. I think that's why, like, I'm happy to post selfies. I don't really care about that, because I feel like it's just me in like physical form. It's me on the outside. I'm happy to post, fun party photos of the cruise or whatever it is. But when it's like who I am inside, and it's my creative process, I think that's where the vulnerability comes in a little bit. And it's not that people are entitled to their opinion. They do say, and I think we said it on a previous podcast, that negative attention is better than no attention. But oh my God, let's just be nice to people. Oh God, I feel like laugh crying today.
I think it is hard, because like, if you think about the kind of thing you're posting, obviously it is so personal to you, because it's like your music, and also because I feel like you probably have a lot riding on it as well, because you've got a lot of expectation for yourself as to what you want the outcome of it to be. And because when it comes to like marketing, that is your marketing.
For sure.
Everything that you receive back is basically feedback on a marketing project.
True.
And I can imagine that like that's probably a little bit harder, but I think like when it comes to things like, you're saying, oh, I don't want to annoy your current followers or whatever with content when you're posting it. I mean, isn't that the entire point of having Instagram or TikTok or something, is that people post content?
It is the entire point.
So
yes, logically, yes. Emotionally, that's where but no, you're right. It is. It's using social media as a tool to advertise your product. So I have the product, which is music or a song or an album or a performance, and it's using that as a way to generate views and hopefully subscribers and build something from it. Logically, yes, and that's the business mindset. Emotionally, oh my God, it's like, here I am, please like me, please like my music, so that I can keep doing it. And that's such a like degrading thing to do sometimes, like to sort of, you're begging for attention. And that is ultimately, like, I've had people that have said to me before, oh, like, it seems like you're attention seeking, and my inclination was always to be like, no, it's just me. But actually, yes, it is. It's like, It's begging for people's attention.
It's attention seeking because it's marketing. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
marketing is.
exactly.
Every billboard out there is screaming, "Look at me,"
Yeah, for sure.
because that's the whole point.
Yeah, but
that's
that's
how people are gonna find you.
But then at the exact same time, I just don't want to be seen. So I'm like, look at me, but please don't look at me. But then if you do look at me, please be nice to me because I'm really fragile. So tragic. I think we have another podcast scheduled, don't we, about like, I don't know, confidence or being that woman in 2025.
Yeah.
I want to be exactly not like this. So just FYI
your
for
goal
the
for
future, for future
2025.
podcasts, that's to not be like this.
I think I wonder whether or not, and maybe perhaps this is a little bit of tough love, so apologies for that.
Lay it on me.
But I wonder whether or not you need to just detach yourself from it.
Yeah.
Because if I think like, it seems to me like you are perceiving the stuff on your Instagram page negatively you're perceiving it negatively for other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, accurate.
Like, you're already predicting that someone's not going to like it, and therefore you're already stressing yourself out. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
And I understand that obviously you say like, oh, well, you inevitably lose a couple of followers whenever you post. Bots, random people who followed you, people who slid into your DMs being like, you're looking for a sugar daddy. Like, those people probably are unfollowing after a while, because that's the whole point. Or the follow for follow trains, you know.
That's true.
Someone follows and then they unfollow later.
True. Yeah,
like, I wouldn't take it as like each individual person. People deactivate their Instagram accounts all the time. Unfollowed.
Also true.
You know?
Yeah.
So you're perceiving it as like that unfollower means that they don't like my music and therefore what I'm putting out is bad, rather than they're not even noticing because you're not focusing on your follower count every time that you're posting.
Yeah.
Or if someone posts a negative comment, rather than being like, what a weirdo, why are you out here posting negative comments on people's personal Instagram pages where they're talking about their own personal music?
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, maybe they're right. Maybe they have, you know, I should attach some kind of value to their
meaning
comment.
Yeah, which I do, no, 100%.
But their comment means nothing. That person, you have no idea who they are. You have no idea what their life is. They probably cannot sing nor write a song nor have ever bothered to try. Or perhaps they actually do want to do that and they're putting that negative comment because they're just jealous that somebody has the confidence to go out there and do it when they're sat at home being like, this is my long lost dream that I never did. You know?
That's my future. That's that woman in 2025.
This is the thing. You're doing it.
Yeah.
So you're doing something other people are scared of, and therefore that's what people do. You know, they project their own insecurities onto other people. And so it doesn't, I mean, honestly, like if I think about our Utterly Unfiltered, we've had maybe a couple of negative comments, and one of them was literally somebody on YouTube being like, we don't need to see this, why not have a conversation yourself or something like that. And I was like, oh, I didn't even do anything with it. It's a
then
podcast.
no one would podcast.
Like, I don't understand what you mean. So you're stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people do need to see this. This is a podcast. If somebody wants entertainment, it's a bit like being like watching a new Netflix TV show and being like, oh, why did you film this? No one needs to see this. It's like,
why didn't you just act yourself?
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so confused as to why you would think that. Like,
I just feel like no podcast would exist then, because you would just have conversations to yourself or to other people.
That's the whole point of a podcast. I listen to people's podcasts all the time. I love podcasts that are chatty because it makes, like, you know, it's entertainment. It makes the car journey shorter. It, you know, reduces the commute. It just makes me feel like I'm part of something.
Yeah.
So and it's exactly the same. Any kind of like negative comment at all, I think, for one, think of it as they're jealous. Just literally immediately. Negative comment, they're jealous. They're jealous. They don't have the confidence. They don't have the voice. They don't have the songwriting. They don't have anything. So
they don't have the out of tune vocals in a live performance.
Like, it just no. But that's
sorry,
and that's not necessarily true as well, because you've just attached something to somebody else's comment
that's
as well.
True.
You're saying they've told me I'm out of tune and therefore they are correct. Why do you think they're correct?
That's true.
What are they, a vocal coach? Are they on The
They
Voice?
did not look like a vocal coach when I stalked their TikTok relentlessly.
That's what I mean.
No,
right?
you're too right. You're too right. I think but I think everyone struggles with ascertaining that value and meaning. I mean, ultimately, that's probably why a lot of people post, and I've done it too. Is to get some kind of emotional gain from it, to get some kind of reassurance or validation. But if you can logic it, if you can just separate it in your mind and say social media is for the purpose of marketing my product, in my case, and a lot of people that have businesses on there, I guess, and with the podcast, then it's easier to step outside of that and not take it so personally.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like if you don't have a hater, you haven't made it.
There you go. Think of it that
Haters
way.
gonna hate.
Listen to some
Players gonna play. Right? But no, I appreciate it, and that was really good advice. Just
practice some detachment, I think. It's like they say post and ghost. And that's what I do for sure.
Do you really?
Yeah,
okay, that's
always.
interesting.
Just post and ghost. I never go back on and look at how many likes or on my personal TikTok. I have been stuck in 200 view jail.
Oh my god, it's like a prison cell. It
for
is
like 10 days straight.
Yeah,
I post twice a day, every single day on that channel. And for 10 days straight, so that means 20 posts all have 200 to 300 views on them.
I don't know why TikTok does that. That's the thing.
It doesn't mean anything.
No.
Because I will post something in a couple of days' time and it will get 3,000 views or whatever.
Wow.
So I won't have to worry about it.
Good for you.
It's like, you just have to detach.
Sail through.
Just because I've only got that doesn't mean I'm stop posting. Doesn't mean I'm not like, I give up. Or,
No,
know,
sure.
no one wants to see this. Maybe I should try something else. No, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And eventually, all of it's luck anyway, I feel. Eventually, something will take off.
Something will take off. And it'll be the most random thing. You probably put 5 minutes into recording and filming as opposed to those really long, like editing sessions 100%. That you do. And that's what's going to be the thing. It's too true. What else do you do? What are your other nuggets of wisdom for how to...
Good idea.
How to have... Yeah, sorry. I feel like I've taken up most of this time with my personal crisis, dramas, life. Yeah.
Okay, so... I've got notes because honestly I've been navigating this for a very long time. There's a couple of reasons why actually. When I went traveling, I posted on social media all the time. I literally posted like every single day.
Like a travel vlog?
Yeah,
cool.
It was it was in 2018 when I was traveling for ages.
Was that the trip that ended in New York? Los Angeles.
LA.
And Vegas, baby.
And Vegas, yes. And so I posted all the time on that. And then when I came back, obviously I had nothing to post. So I went back to uni, so I just completely stopped.
Okay.
And then, but I had I'd really pushed the travel vlogging a lot. Done all the hashtags and everything and had, a couple thousand followers. And then I obviously just completely stopped because I wasn't going anywhere. And then during lockdown, I started a coaching business, and so I had social media for that.
Yep.
And so I was posting a lot on then, and that was really vulnerable. That was probably the most vulnerable I've ever posted on social media. Not actually because I was saying anything personal about myself particularly, but more so I was talking to people. I didn't know who those people were.
You were reaching out to people on a personal level. You were being you.
Yeah.
I have the guise of being a creative, I suppose, in that context, and I get to channel someone else. You were bringing you to the table, fully.
It was just literally my daily
very exposed
stuff. And to be fair, I didn't really enjoy that particularly. I think that I was doing it because I thought I had to, and not necessarily because I was enjoying it. And then I stopped doing that, so I stopped. And then now I post obviously all of the utterly unfiltered content, that is me.
Yeah.
And then all of my own content as well on my private TikTok account as well. And so I feel like I go back and forth a lot when it comes to social media. And in between those times, I've literally taken a whole year off.
People take breaks. Yeah. Breaks apparently are really, really good, and you can fully detach yourself from the social media train.
But I think to go back to the kind of topic of this, I think it was about social media comparison. And I mean, I think that it's very easy to fall into the trap of seeing the perfect couple or the perfect friendship or the perfect personal life, the perfect body, the perfect, meal, what I eat in a day, whatever, the perfect house on social media and think that's what I need to have in order to be valuable on social media, if that makes sense. But the thing is that you really are, people say this all the time, but it depends on what kind of social media you're on, but you really do only see 1% of people's lives.
100%, yeah.
And there's so
much. It's always the shiny,
on.
Glossy version that they want you to see because they're in control 100%. Of what they're presenting.
And I think what it is that if somebody is a fitness blogger, if that's their job, a fitness influencer or whatever, their whole livelihood revolves around being fit.
Yeah.
So that means that they are probably working out twice a day, and they are posting their fit checks online, and they are posting their ideal meal plans online or whatever, for better or for worse for other people. But if you think about it, they're not working a 9 to 5 job. Their entire job is to be a fitness influencer. So that means
true.
when they wake up in the morning, what do they think about? Right, what am I going to eat today to make sure I stay as fit and healthy and strong as I can to continue to be a fitness influencer? When they make plans for their weekend, what do they think? They think, right, I'm going to make sure that I'm doing this run and this climb and this workout or whatever, so that I can post it on social media, because it's my entire job.
Yeah.
And it's the same if you see like a couple vloggers. Like, there are loads of obviously couple vloggers out there, and they, you know, I don't know if you see the ones where it's like, it's just been Halloween, so this is a good example. It's like people bringing their partner their boo baskets. Have you seen any of these?
Oh, yes.
So there's like little basket of like Halloween-y
Yeah, that's quite cute.
things, and like slippers and candles and all that kind of stuff anyways. And it's like, it'll be like, you know, giving my wife her boo basket, or like, oh, look, my husband just gave me a boo basket. And it's like, oh, this perfect relationship or perfect ideal like marriage or whatever. But again, that piece of content was set up to go on social media. Like, the whole reason, there's a high chance he didn't even make that. She made it, he gave it to her so that it would be content. Do you know what I mean? They would have written down a week beforehand, when they're planning, right, what's our content for the next week going to be? All right, well, this is a trend, let's get on that. This is a trend, let's get on that. All right, we'll make sure we'll do this. Like, it's not actually authentic. It's just, it's their job.
It's their job, but also it's actually not, like, I know a couple of fitness influencers, and they'd be happy for me to share that actually a lot of the time, yes, they are living the fit life and that is their full-time job, but oh my goodness, they're also going out on weekends and having some benders and having Mackie D's, but they're not going to put that on their fitness account because it doesn't really show fitness or what people's ideal version of fitness is in their minds.
It's a niche, and if you have a niche, you have to stick to it, or people will, you know, whatever strategy, whatever, but a lot of people will stick to it, and therefore if their niche is the happiest relationship, then they're never going to post their arguments. Right. If their niche is having a fit and healthy life, they're never going to post their cheat days, because that's not the niche. If they are, there are some people out there who do post that kind of thing, but that's almost like their niche is like self-acceptance, or their niche is like, you know, like reality again.
The version of reality that you choose to present.
They want to share. You know, they're sharing the arguments that they want to share. They're sharing the cheat meals they want to share. They might be sharing, oh, I had fries, but they're not going to mention they also had a burger, an apple pie, and a McFlurry. You know? Right. It's just, everything is curated. So,
can I ask you for some advice on that then? Okay, cool. So there's a trend, and again, it's totally acknowledged that it is a trend, and it's not super real in that sense. Of musicians who present the sort of low lives of music life, right? Or of creative artistic life. And the trend is like, you know, it shows all the happy moments and then it shows all the hard moments. So there's like lots of pictures of people like crying or like, I don't know, sitting with their hands on their heads or whatever. Now, obviously they've put the phone there and they've timed it and they've taken the photo. And so maybe they're actually super happy, but it's just like the body language you're presenting. But the ones about, like, you know, presenting the low lives, do you think there's value, low lights, sorry, do you think there's value in doing that, in giving the behind the scenes of, actually, it's not like fitness instructors, actually, yeah, I spend 90% of my time eating healthy and exercising, but the other 10% of my time I'm spending stuffing my face with bad food and lying on the sofa. Do you think there's value in it, in breaking down the barrier a little bit for other people to not compare? Or do you, what are your thoughts personally on the brand versus personal, actual, real life?
I think there's a couple pieces there. I think, for one, it depends on what you want your brand to represent. So if these musicians who are doing that, who are they talking to? Are they talking to other musicians, aspiring musicians, or are they talking to people who want to listen to their music? Because your audience matters there. I think, like, who are you trying to attract with that? If you're trying to normalize something for smaller artists, just to aspire to or to understand what it's like, fair enough. If you're trying to attract an audience, people to listen to your music,
not beneficial.
I don't look at Taylor Swift and think, what are the lowlights of your life?
True.
I just think about the music that she's putting out there, which also shows you some of that stuff, to some extent, what she wants to share in her music, right? They're all breakup songs, it's not all showing the highlights. But I think as well, there are a lot of accounts out there, for example, there are body neutrality accounts or body positivity accounts or things like that, which portray the idea of this is normal, or mid-sized clothing influencers, for example, and they'll be bloke friendly dresses, and they're happy to show their stomachs and their cellulite and their all sorts on the internet as well, which I do think is really important to normalize that not everyone looks like a fitness influencer, right? But you're still only seeing what they want to share.
Well, so even this discussion is highlighting the fact that what people are posting online is a conscious decision a lot of the time, designed to attract a certain audience, and therefore it's not their real life. It's like the iceberg of their real life. It's the tip of their real life because they're choosing to have that content out there. So you can compare yourself to them until the cows come home.
Yeah.
But you're comparing yourself to that very small amount of information that they're choosing to share with you, which is not representative at all of their entire life.
No.
At all.
No. And there are loads and loads of motherhood influencers, for example. And I don't really follow a whole lot of these, but I've see them around. And they might say something about there's a trend, and it's it's a picture of people, and on one side it's I wonder if she knows that whenever she has a tantrum in the supermarket, I get really overstimulated and want to go cry in the car, and then it swipes to the kid, and it's I wonder if she knows that I really just don't care. And it's it's a funny trend about kids being kids or whatever and overstimulating people. That's something that they want to post on the internet. They've told you that particular instance of in a supermarket or whatever, because that's pretty common. A lot of kids have meltdowns in a supermarket, right?
Right.
They're still not going to tell you the absolute worst moments of motherhood, nor probably the absolute best.
Sure.
But they will show pictures of them going to the pumpkin patch, picking out the Christmas tree, this perfect family, this perfect family life. The whole family together, mum, dad, boy, girl,
so true.
dog.
Yeah.
But they won't talk about the arguments about who's doing the laundry, and the house is a mess, and they haven't had sex in 6 months, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
People won't talk about that on the internet because they only want to show what they want to show.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So curated in that sense. And I don't think there's anything wrong with, I only really recently learned that you could do this, because again, like I said, I can't take breaks from social media during promoting something, or I don't feel like I can. But what I can do is there are people on my feed who are doing amazing, and I know them, and so I'm super encouraging, sort of directly, but there is an ability on Instagram at least to mute those people.
Yes.
So you can hide their stories and you can hide their posts so that they don't appear at the very, very top of your feed. And I've been doing that for a couple of people, and it's not because I don't support them, it's not because I don't want to see what's going on with them, but I just don't want it to take over my consciousness too much. So I've muted their stories and their posts, and to try and avoid seeing them. But on a personal level, I'm super up to date with what's going on with their lives, and I'll share what I can share if they need sharing. But on a day-to-day basis, I don't want to be seeing all of that stuff, because I know I'm going to look at it and think, why am I not doing that? That is so cool. Great for you, but I want to be doing that. Why am I? So that's the thing. They do have these little tools that you can learn about, that you can use.
I 100% agree with you. I think that any kind of where you can set boundaries with yourself around the kind of content that makes you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
So if you don't like seeing fitness influencers, then unfollow them. You don't need to follow them.
Yeah.
You just don't. Do you actually do any of their workouts that they post? If you don't, get rid of them. If you follow fashion accounts, but all it does is make you buy things you don't want and spend money on things you don't want, unfollow them. At the end of the day, you're gonna wake up and put your sweats on, aren't you? So why are you kidding yourself by following those accounts? If there is somebody who triggers you because they are where you want to be and it's not aspirational, it's actually causing comparison, mute them, unfollow them, 100%. And I think one of the best things you can do as an individual, I think especially as someone in your late 20s, if you are struggling with comparison, you're seeing your friends online, if they're getting married, they're having kids, they've got successful jobs, they're traveling the world, they're running marathons, whatever they're doing, because we're all doing such different things at this time period of our lives, then I think at the weekend just having a digital detox, delete the
Yeah,
apps
yeah.
for the weekend, because then you can actually be in the moment and enjoy your weekend with your friend, your partner, yourself, whatever you want to do, and not spend the whole time living vicariously through people that you're not with.
That's true.
If that makes sense.
That's true.
I think that a lot of the time, and again, this is like where detaching yourself from social media is so important, because, for example, if you go on and you're watching your Instagram stories on a Sunday morning, and you see that last night, you know, one person's posted 6 videos from the club and the other one's posted 3 on their story from going to this concert, and there's one of you 2 of your friends from high school at the pub together, and you know, 2 people are on a happy date night, and someone else is in Italy or whatever. You're like, oh god, like all I did last night was watch Love Is Blind and go to bed at 9 p.m.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, is this my life? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't. All my friends are hanging out without me, and I'm not doing things. I got FOMO. I live in a different city.
Yeah.
Whatever. All you're doing is making yourself miserable for literally no reason whatsoever.
True.
Because in my humble opinion, if you are posting multiple Instagram stories from a night out or whatever it is, you're not actually in the moment and having fun. So you're getting comparisonitis and jealousy about something that actually is probably not even worth getting jealous about.
So true. And those people will continue to live their lives, and you will continue to live your life regardless of whether it's in your face the whole time. But you're right, I think emotionally detaching is sometimes tricky once you've seen all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So physically detaching,
Yeah.
physically
Don't even
hiding
put
their
yourself in that
stories,
position.
physically, no, for sure. It's so social media has caused so many issues for people. Oh my god, we could talk till the cows. I'd say that again. No, I need to think of something more inventive to say. We can talk until your Saturn return about this topic, but that's basically ultimately it.
Yeah.
Is filter it for yourself.
Yeah.
Create a screen.
Physical and emotional detachment,
Yeah.
I think, is the biggest thing. Physically detach, get rid of things that you don't want to see or that don't make you happy. Mute things, like you said. That's
Yeah.
really handy, especially if there's people that you know. But also emotionally detach. Why are you putting so much value on it? Why
Yeah.
is it important to you? You know, what is it that you need to work on in yourself that's causing you to feel triggered by this?
Yeah.
Because I think if it is a case of, you know, you've got FOMO and you're feeling left out by people or whatever, well, you know, why is that? Have you reached out recently to make plans with friends? Do you even want to go out on a Saturday night, or are you happier at home? Do you feel like you should? Is there something along the lines of, you know, feeling like that's who you should be but not who you want to be? Like, there's a lot of, I guess, there's probably some trigger points in there that you can just note down and think about, right, what is it about that that's making me feel X, Y, Z? And how can I work on that and, you know, heal that wound a little bit more? Because I think that social media brings a lot of those triggers to light, but actually we'll have that without social media as well.
Yeah, true.
You know, that kind of thing will last until the end of time.
It's true.
We're not all going to be perfect and completely be able to detach from, you know, even if you hang out with people and you hear what they've done versus what you've done, you might think, oh, well, you know, oh, Cara went on a cruise for, you know, 10 days. God, I wish I had done something like that. And that's not even social media, that's just life. Why is that? Okay, is it because I feel like I need to be a bit more adventurous? Do I wish I had a better relationship with my family and would want to do that kind of thing? Maybe I should reach out, you know, like think about it that way, I think. Rather than like, okay, well, I must just be so boring, no one likes me, I'll never make any friends, you know, everyone hates me and I'm never going to get to go on a girls' trip like that.
Yeah.
What do you gain?
To summarize that, like, this is kind of ironic because I saw this on social media, but there was, wow, yeah, pretty much a lot of my life advice comes from social media, and my life advice is stay away from social media. No, so, but it was quite interesting because it just encapsulates that, and it was pretty much like the only way you'll be happy is if you focus on what you're doing and no one else. So simple, probably very, very, very true.
Yeah.
But very hard to do in this day and age
Yeah.
of social media and yeah, but that is ultimately social media taught me to not rely on social media as much.
Don't rely on anybody.
No, and anybody, yeah, and in real life, yeah, and in real life, yeah, because of course, yeah, comparison doesn't just span. It's just easier to access online, but yeah, it's everywhere. It's what you look at walking, you know, on the street or at work or at school or whatever. It's everywhere. But if you can zone in on yourself and you doing you, and not you doing everyone else. In a non-sexual way or a sexual way, but if that's what you choose to do, anyways, just Should we leave it there?
Oh, that was fantastic.
Cool.
I love that. Yes. No, I totally get what you mean. And
Cool.
I completely agree.
I'm
with
retiring
you.
from podcasting now.
I think that's a great place to end. You know what I love about when we podcast, right? Is the fact that we've got a whole page of notes here. We've not said a single thing.
No,
from
of course
it.
we haven't.
Because
Yeah,
we've gone off on a completely different
of course we have. But that's utterly unfiltered for
That is
you.
absolutely unfiltered, and that is the joy of podcasting.
Please
So,
like, subscribe, share. Come back next week.
Yes, leave us some lovely comments, please. We only like positive feedback from the audience.
Yeah, please. Well, if you must make it negative, just be a little less ruthless, please.
Cara can't hack it today. Okay,
I can't
guys,
handle
so-
it. I'm a delicate flower today.
All right, we'll see you next Monday.
Bye.